Welcome to Conestoga News 46. I'm Janelle Bozak.
And I'm Tim Moore. Coming up, the government wants to do something interesting with the Canadian National Anthem.
And we're going to step inside the world of television and get up close and personal with David Aguiar, a producer at Rogers Television.
But first, Mike Zafchewski has an interesting story about a Conestoga college student who carried the Olympic flame. Check it out.
Imagine the feeling of carrying the Olympic torch, running with the whole country cheering you on.
I can't believe it's on my street.
Francis Coral-Mellon is a 21-year-old student studying television broadcast at Conestoga College. He also has the distinction of being an Olympic torchbearer.
I didn't find out until quite a bit later, and I was shocked. I mean, I was like so excited. When I saw the letter, I was just like, wow, this is actually great. I mean, I didn't know how many people they were picking, and there's a lot of joy at that point. Yeah.
Coral-Mellon got the chance to run with the torch and represent his country after being selected in an online contest.
I applied at the beginning of March online through iCoke, which is the Coke website, and they pick you randomly. So I got through in the first draft to write an essay, and there's several drafts, and so they sent me an email back and said, submit your information and write a small essay for us showing your Olympic spirit or how you contribute to the community environmentally.
The distinction of being one of 12,000 runners to guide the torch across the country definitely attracts some attention, but in true Canadian fashion, Coral-Mellon is humbled by the achievement and grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, I am Canadian. I'm not a traditional Canadian in that I watch hockey, but I'm proud of where I live, all the opportunities that the country can provide. I think it's a great place and one of the best countries in the world to be living in. And in that sense, I'm proud as a Canadian. But I also have other roots as well. And I think I consider myself very multicultural, which is another aspect of Canada.
For Conestoga's News 46, I'm Mike Zafchewski.
Oh, hey guys. Thanks for that story, Mike, about the Olympic torchbearer. Next, Matt Adams interviewed a local Rogers Television producer about the recession and how local television is being affected by it.
I'm here at Rogers TV in Kitchener, where I'm talking to producer David Aguiar about what it's like working in television and what the recession has done to the industry in the past year. So first of all, David, what do you do here at Rogers in the course of the week?
I'm a producer, and over the course of the week, I produce generally 4 live shows. They're all 1 hour in length. The rest of the week is made up of editorial content meetings, production meetings for Talk Local, staffing the shows or finding crew for each show.
Where did you go to school, and how did you get to where you are now?
I went to Brock for film studies, and their program had a co-op option with it, so I took that. And around my second year there, I started co-op, and I went to the Rogers TV station in Brantford. I was an intern there for 3 years, and after I graduated, they were looking to hire someone, so I came on as a producer.
So they just hired you as a producer right away?
Yep.
Wow.
I had, while I was an intern, filled in as a producer for a few months, so I already had a bit of experience doing the job.
So interning, they gave you all the experience you needed to become a producer here?
There's a few things you pick up once you're hired, but I mean, it's all there. It's all available. You just have to ask, more or less.
How much would you say your work environment has changed in the past year, and what has been the most difficult change to deal with?
For the past year, there's budgetary restrictions. There's always the risk of layoff, so the atmosphere changes. People become a bit more nervous. We've been fortunate here, though, and we've only had a few layoffs within this branch.
Has there been any notable positions that you've lost that have been pretty bad to lose?
Well, we've lost a supervising producer, which shuffles the entire office around, and you end up reporting to different people, and the structure of your shows change slightly based on differing opinions.
Are you happy where you are right now, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
It's a real luxury to be able to work in television or film in this area rather than having to move to Toronto. Within 5 years, I mean, I'd like to still be working in the industry in some capacity. Moving on to series production would be something great, although I do still like live television.
Is it likely that you'd still have your job here in 5 years? Or is it something you want to keep doing, or would you want to further your career more?
You always want to further your career. 5 years does seem like a long time. I would stay. It feels there's a decent amount of security here.
And would you recommend that students look into media and television as a career, and what advice would you offer them?
People should absolutely look into that as a career. My advice would be, while you're in school, volunteer as much as you can, because getting that volunteer experience in while you're at school and you're not necessarily looking for full-time work is really going to benefit you in the future, because you will already have worked up that experience by the time you're going into the job market. That way you're not spending time when you should be at a full-time job trying to volunteer at different places and build up your resume that way.
All right, well, David, thank you for having me here today. It's been a pleasure, and back to you guys.
Okay, everyone, it's time. So please stand to sing the national anthem. But wait, the Canadian government is planning on changing it. Here's Maggie Segunis with more.
Has Canada become a little too politically correct? Well, the Canadian government is saying there's always room for improvement. Governor General Michael Jean proposed that the Canadian anthem be changed to a more accessible non-gender version. Apparently, with the Canadian national anthem blasting in Vancouver these past 2 weeks, it's become more apparent that Canada also has daughters. Of course, making reference to the line, "In all thy sons command." Currently, the anthem is as follows: "True patriot love and all thy sons command." Under the Conservatives' proposal, they want the anthem to return to an earlier version written in 1908 by Stanley Weir, which says, "True patriot love, thou dost in us command," regardless of the tongue twister. I went out and spoke to some people and got their thoughts on the whole reversion.
Sounds stupid.
Really?
I think that people are just looking for any reason to look for somebody to change something. You know what I mean? Like, I think for looking at, what was that? All of our sons command. I don't think that's sexist at all.
This is the first I've ever heard of it, but I really don't think it makes any sense, and it sounds a lot more complicated, so I would be against the change.
Women are speaking out about the announcement, and Janet Keeping, president of the Sheldon Coomer Foundation for Ethics and Leadership in Calgary, said, "We know that the language is not meant to include all of us. I would just change it to an all of us command and be done with it." If Canada wants to get feministic all of a sudden, why was it such a big deal when the Canadian women's hockey team had a celebratory drink on the ice after winning gold for all of Canada's children? Liberal leader Michael Ignatieff told CTV's Power Play that it would be a good idea for the anthem to get a gender-neutral language, and we of course support it, but if you want to do something for women, can we get families some childcare? I mean, we already changed the Hockey Night in Canada theme. Why don't we just take Canadian rapper Classified song "Oh Canada" and throw that in as our national anthem? I mean, Facebook already has a group going to change the anthem to "Oh Canada," and it already has 240 members. There hasn't been an official word on the official change of the anthem, but I can guarantee you that every Canuck will be glued to their TV sets tonight at 6 to find out. For Conestoga News 46, I'm Maggie Segunis, and I am proud to be Canadian.
Thanks, Maggie. That was an interesting take on the national anthem. Well, that about wraps up our show today.
Hi,
hey.
Tim. Tune in next week because we've got a spectacular show lined up for you. We're going to sit down with one of Canada's newest producers and directors who has a film that's going to knock your socks off.
For Conestoga News 46, I'm Tim Moore.
And I'm Janelle Bozak. Bye, everyone.